We're back at America Trends. We only talk about what your social media says is trending, so let's get right back to it. It's showtime for the Republican National Convention as they meet this week and next for their presidential convention. Will there be any opposition to Donald Trump? Joining me from Las Vegas, Nevada is the founder of Reagan Baby, Megan Barth. Megan, so good to have you.
Hey, thanks, Barry. Good to see you.
Good to see you. I follow you on Twitter, and I know you see my stuff, so I feel like we're already friends a little bit.
That's right.
Let's start with our poll question. Handicap it, baby. Who's going to be the pick Friday morning?
Friday morning, I think you're definitely going to see the pick of the expected nominee. The presumptive nominee will be Donald Trump. I don't think there's going to be any kind of last-minute coup. And I think that the energy is towards his campaign, and more people are coming out for their support. And I think on Friday, his pick for VP will be, drum roll, please.
You got it. I'm waiting.
I believe it's going to be Newt Gingrich.
You know, I'm rooting for you, but my sources say it's a 90% lock. It's Mike Pence. What are your thoughts?
And see, and my sources say it's a 90% it's going to be Newt Gingrich.
Oh, boy.
Here's my issue. I know, we have different sources, obviously. But the water cooler is kind of small, of course. You know, it's going to be probably one of two, obviously, between Pence and Gingrich. But here's why I think it's Gingrich. Pence has some baggage. And the baggage that Pence has is RFRA. It was the act by which he could not get past the LGBT community. He got skewered by the left. He had boycotts against him. Salesforce.com was going to move their whole entire business out of his state. So the left will have a field day if it's Pence. Not that he's not conservative, not that he's not a good governor. He has a great resume. He is able to bring the factions of the party, which are fractured right now, say like the Never Trump crowd, or the neoconservatives, or whomever they are, and perhaps the independents. But RFRA really is his, I think, Achilles heel.
So Trump takes his family to Pence's house, the boys and his daughter to go meet and kind of schmooze as like they're merging families. What was that all about then? Socializing?
I know. I saw that, what was that, today or yesterday?
Yeah.
And I was a little bit taken aback, but this campaign has been nothing but surprises. This election, this primary, has been nothing but surprises. Nothing is to be expected. And I think some things on face value aren't what they seem. I am a Gingrich fan for that slot because I think he has more of an intellectual reach as well as a reach that he can make to the independents, to the conservative faction of the party, and he can speak in larger platitudes of reform.
Well, look, I'm a fan too. He brings all of that resume that nobody in either party really truly has at this point.
Yeah, and you saw Newt Gingrich the other day on Facebook. I think it was just a few days ago, and he had a Facebook presentation streaming live with Van Jones. And I think it was the day after the Dallas massacre or a couple days after the terrorist attack there, where they were talking about solutions that needed to be addressed. And this is the type of dialogue that the American people are hungry for. And Newt has a unique ability to bring someone like Van Jones to the table. Right?
So do you think he's the kind of guy that can appeal to the crossover votes, the Reagan Democrats as they're called, the people in the middle that are the uncommitted?
You know, I think the Reagan Democrats are really lining up behind Trump. You look at his numbers, and he's got 12 to 13% of the Democrat vote, and that's according to Quinnipiac. He's got 78% of the Republican vote, and Hillary Clinton, for some odd reason, is getting 11% of the GOP vote. Well, if there are members within the GOP that are voting for Hillary Clinton, we don't want those members anyway.
I wouldn't count them as real Republicans if they can cross that far to the left.
No,
quite frankly.
they're basically getting paid by the Washington establishment, and will take their money however they can get it.
I got you. So let's jump back to something you touched on lightly. There's a bunch of delegates that are forming the Not Trump faction within the convention walls. What's his name? Carol Correll in Virginia just won a court case that there might be a way to unhinge the first ballot commitment to Trump as a violation of First Amendment principles under the Constitution. Is there going to be a breakdown and an anarchy on first ballot?
I really don't think that the Never Trump movement is that strong. I would consider them quite marginalized. I mean, you do have redstate.com, which is a Never Trump site. You do have some within other media that are Never Trump. But I think that the voice and the power of the American people, and honestly, Barry, I don't think that there's anything that anyone could do to appease the Never Trump movement, because they still want somebody like Mitt Romney, who lost, and quite frankly was a moderate. And this country right now doesn't need a moderate. As we've seen, in rally across the country, there are tens of thousands of people that are demanding that Washington change. We are actually in a conservative way, or at least a populist way. If you want to call Trump a populist, I'm not going to disagree with you. But we certainly know that he does not have the Marxist leanings and tendencies of the Alinskyites and the disciples of Alinsky on the left.
Oh, couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, and he's got, Jeff Sessions behind him. He's got Newt Gingrich. He's got Giuliani. He's got kind of Paul Ryan. What more do they want? I mean, you can't say that Jeff Sessions is a conservative. You can't say that Newt Gingrich is an intellectual. And those are the types of aspersions that are being cast upon not only Trump, but his supporters like myself.
All right, well, let's step outside the convention walls. It's 2 weeks from now, Megan. He's the nominee. How does he beat Hillary Clinton and the Democratic machine?
Well, I think that he needs to use Hillary Clinton's lying words against her. He's got a lot of ammunition. Look, Hillary Clinton is a flawed candidate. She is actually polling nationwide at 39%.
As of today.
As of today, and that was, I think, Rasmussen. She is polling 39 to 43%. Trump is beating her, and that was a big swing, and such a huge swing, and such a concern to the Hillary campaign that her spokesperson tweeted today that Trump is dangerous. And that's where we want them. We want them to feel threatened. We want them to feel like they are losing because they are. And so the whole media narrative around Hillary, like she's just going to waltz in and take this prize without any sort of pushback, she's underestimating it, as is her campaign.
Okay,
as is
so take it out.
His
does he have to be more presidential to be the president? That's your last one.
Look, I think that he's actually demonstrated that quality quite well. And I think as soon as Manafort got on his campaign, he's really kind of done a 180. He's using a teleprompter, and he had a great interview on Bret Baier today. And what he's saying is obviously appealing to the American people. He beat 16 of his colleagues.
Megan,
and he has an easy chance to beat Hillary.